Hi, I'm Callie from Moreton Bay Organics and welcome to today's video about soil and soil health. This video is aimed for newer gardeners, but if you're an established gardener, you may get something out of it too. New gardeners tend to be all overzealous, dig up the area that they want to do their veggie patch or even just a normal garden in their yards, and just plant in and maybe mulch it if they think about it and hope that that works great. And you will get varying results. Some people will thrive and they think, oh my gosh, I'm a great gardener, and it really is a reflection about the soil conditions. So, and obviously you taking care of the plants as well. But there will be people, because they've got poorer soil conditions, they won't be as successful, or things will grow initially and then it'll go stagnant and they just won't do too much more. And that can leave you disappointed and feeling unsuccessful in your garden, which we don't want for you. So what we like to teach people is that you need to, before you start your garden, to think about the soil that you've got around and whether you're going to build up, or if you're building into the ground, or how you're going to plan your garden. If you're building straight into the ground, you need to help build up the soil usually. Most people have, especially in smaller block places, have backfill and the soil quality is quite poor. And the reason is because it's not living soil. And you may have heard things called the soil food web, which is living soil, and it's just a reflection of how active your soil is with microbes, mycelium, bugs, worms, all that sort of stuff, which is what you need in your garden to succeed and for things to grow well, because all those little microbes and microorganisms, worms and little bugs that go about their day in the soil actually break down what you put into the soil. So meaning like your mulch and nutrients and minerals and stuff like that. So they digest it and make it available to the plant, because what we fertilize with 9 times out of 10 is not something that's immediately available to a plant. You feed the soil, not the plant. So if you've got good, healthy, fertile soil with all that nice active microbial life going on, you're going to have a great garden without too much trouble. If your soil's a bit dead, so it's super dry and not a lot happening, super sandy, or really wet, you need to build that up. And by doing that, you need to use lots of composting and your leaf litters and mulching and all that sort of stuff, and build on it, which we'll do videos about in the future. But yeah, you might need to do some work before you start working from the ground. The same applies for raised bed gardening. You still need to have all these qualities in the soil for them to thrive as well, but just know the advantage is drainage. If you've got a really boggy place, I would strongly suggest to do raised bed gardening, because you'll always be fighting the bog. You can improve the soil, but like this year we've had so much rain, it's not funny. Even us on our property, we've got sandy loam soil and it is saturated. We are struggling in the yard still, because we've got a water table underneath us where we are. We're very close to the ocean, or the river I should say, so the water sits high up in the soil layers anyway. So after having over 1 meter of rain in several months, and now we're going to be having more rain in spring and summer according to the Weather Bureau, I know our ground bed gardens might not be coping so well, because it'll get really waterlogged. So just think about that. That's always something I try to encourage people to think about if they've got boggy clay soil and you're not elevated. But yeah, so you still need the same soil quality. So by doing that, there's several ways to get those things done. Is one, you need to check your soil. So dig out a little bit, see what's happening in the soil. If it looks like this, sorry, just pinching straight from my garden bed. If it's looking like this, it's all nice, dark, rich, you know, you've got nutrients, you can see the not microbes, they're little bugs and stuff sifting through the soil, you know, you've got pretty good healthy soil. If you have worms and you can see mycelium, which is the white threads that you often see in mulch, that's a good thing as well. That's telling you that your soil's alive or living. If you don't have any of that and it's dry, barren, or just a lump of clay, you need to improve on that. And like I said before, compost will be your best friend in your garden. If you make your own compost, even better. If you don't, that's okay. You can grab some from a local landscape place, or wherever you're comfortable getting compost from. And yeah, putting a nice thick layer and then mulching it really heavily with some sugarcane or lucerne or any kind of high nitrogen based mulch. That'll break down quickly, and it also already has a bit of mycelium life that builds up very quickly in it as well, which will help build up the soil and make it nice and healthy for you. I also use Wam Castings. They're very rich and active because it's like a composting system using the worm farm as well, but it just has even more microbial action sitting in there. We have often done in certain sections in our garden where we've added worms, where we've like just built from the ground up, and we've used like cardboard layers underneath. So like, you know, dig gardens, we'll chuck in a few worms just to get that started as well, which is really helpful. But compost is key, even in your pots. We'll do a video about pots and pot planters soon. So yeah, so compost is what you want. If that should actually really get you started. But the other thing that you can use to help with getting more microbes in your soil is using fresh leaf mold out of a forest or a dense tree area where, you know, it's reasonably old. So you just clear the leaf litter away from underneath a base of a tree, which is really important. And then there's this fine crumbly layer that's in between soil and the leaf being broken down. That's what you want to gather. And you can get a few handfuls of that and pop that in your garden, or you can make a tea out of it and then put the liquid from the tea into the garden, which will help activate the microbes in the soil. So yes, so that's basically it. That's the short version, but just something to get you thinking about your soil, because if you have good soil, you will very rarely have to fertilize at all. In the end, we still fertilize, but we use all completely organic homemade fertilizers, and it's to feed the soil, not the plant. So if you're feeding your microbes, they take in all those nutrients, digest them, and then put them into the soil available for the plant. So I think if you can get out of your head that you're fertilizing the plant and you're fertilizing the soil, you'll think about things a little bit more differently. Yeah, so that's it for that one. If you have any questions, put a comment in below. I'll see if I can help you. But yeah, just things to get started and thinking about soil health in general. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and like the video and share it. That would be great. And if you put a comment in the box, even just to say hi or thank you, that would be great, because that helps share the channel as well, makes it more visible to other people. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.